Thunder's hot, a.k.a. the Celtics last year at this point in the season, the 2023-2024 season, 48-14. And then there's flaming hot. We got the Cavs with a 52-10 record, first team this year to claim a playoff berth. And the Thunder falling close behind with a 51-11 record. And I'm going on a limb here and saying Cavs are the better team. And why do I say that? Their three-point shooting. The Cavs and the Thunder have faced off against each other 2 times this year. Series overall is tied up. And the reason the Cavaliers won the second one was because of three-point shooting. Thunder still shot better overall. Field goal percentage. Showed flashes of that defense they had against the Cavs in the first bout, where the Cavs got brutally beaten down 134-114. But in their 129-122 win, Donovan Mitchell scored 11 points. And they were still able to beat the Thunder. Purely because of their three-point shooting. And in today's NBA, it's almost a requirement to be able to shoot up threes consistently. And I feel like because the Cavaliers have that ability, as a whole team, to shoot that many threes and make them, and lead the NBA in three-point percentage, I think they got a shot over the Thunder in winning the NBA championship. What do you think about that, Charles?
You know, the Cavs are a really good team, but I actually disagree. I think the Thunder are the better team overall. I think that the three-point will be an issue because the Cavs have surrounded themselves with some great shooters. But to be honest with you, it's a 7-game series. I think that the Thunder's defense, with the players and the defensive mindset that they have, they will give them 2 games. They'll figure it out. They'll go out, get over those screens. I think Donovan Mitchell won't always put up 11. I think he's going to be a lot better come playoffs. The season series is tied 1-1. I mean, yes, the Cavs did win one over the Thunder, but the Thunder, on their win, I think it was, it was a 134-14 win. That's a 20-point win when the other one was just a 7. So I'm thinking overall in a 7-game series with the defensive mindset that the Thunder have in Alex Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Shea, they can come out and I think it'll be a game 7, but they'll win.
So, yes, the saying defense wins championships is what you're going for. I can totally see where you're coming from, but if you look back at it, last year's Celtics team, yeah, sure they had a good defense, but it wasn't as good as in previous years when they had Ime Udoka. Instead, they had a new coach and won his first year. Obviously insane. But the Celtics' key to winning wasn't just their defense. It was their three-pointers. Their ability to chuck it up, the pure amount of talent they had around the perimeter. And with the Thunder, Charles, tell me right now, who's their 2? Like, who on their team, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's out, who is their Jalen Brunson when he was on that Mavs team? Like, who's the guy who's going to have, like, a crazy shooting game?
Yeah, it's going to be Jalen Williams. He's their second scoring option. I think you can get a good solid 15 from Chet as well. I think you'll be getting at least 18 to 20 from Jalen Williams. He's their second guy. You know, he's young, but he's a rising star. He's a leader on that team. And they don't even, when it comes to a playoff game, it's all defense. It's defensive mindset, especially for a team like the Thunder. I think that the defense that the Thunder can provide will out-top the three-point barrage that the Cavs bring. It'll be close, but I favor the defense in this one.
So if you're going to go on that line, saying that Jalen Williams is still a good 2, do you think any of the 2s on the Thunder are better than... Give me a moment. We're going to cut this off during the pause. Okay. Oh, Darius Garland. Do you think any of those players are better than Darius Garland at 2? Because Donovan Mitchell's obviously the 1, and he's a pretty good 1. And Darius Garland at 2, he's a great passer. He gets all his teammates open. And he's part of the reason him and Donovan Mitchell being able to function together as a cohesive duo is part of the reason they're such a deadly team. So who do you think? Do you think Jalen Williams is even close to Darius Garland?
Darius Garland, I think, is a better scorer and player overall. However, I think that the difference between Shai and Donovan evens that out. I think Shai is going to put up 30-plus points a game over that series, while Donovan Mitchell might be putting up 27. And that difference right there will probably make up that difference between Darius and Jalen.
Right, but here's the key thing here. Most of these NBA Finals matchups, they're not just player versus player. This is a chess match between the coaches. And one of the biggest times I've seen that was that Warriors Celtics finals, where they're trying to figure out who they could get to guard Jason Tatum. And Andrew Wiggins was able to show up defensively and show out on offense and help get Curry open on those 3-pointers. So if it comes down to it between these two teams, it's going to be a chess match. Although, I know we keep talking about these two teams, I do think if Boston gets healthy, they'll be able to run into the playoffs blazing hot and make it past the second round and maybe face the Cavaliers. I think they could beat the Cavaliers fully healthy. I think they're more talented overall. But that's a different story. So now we'll move on to the next session, Charles Crossover.
All right, this is Charles's crossover, and I'm about to hit you with the nasty one. All right, Stephen A. and I quote said this: longevity, a sustained level of pristine excellence. LeBron James is the GOAT in this category. Jordan at his best is the greatest I've ever seen, but Jordan wasn't good for that long. Charlie, give me your thoughts.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Stephen A. has it in that fact. And I used to be the person that would say Jordan is the best because he is a basketball player that won, right? But when we're talking about the GOAT, if we're not including rings, the best player I've ever seen with my own eyes. And I watched Jordan games a lot, believe, mind you. Dude, that game-winning shot he had over the Jazz, I watched that entire game. And at 30, I think it was 33, what he was doing was insane. Braun is 40 years old. You know what Dirk Nowitzki averaged when he was like past 40 years old, past 39? 7.8 points per game. LeBron is averaging. That to me is absolutely insane. And he's still putting up the triple-doubles. He's the most triple-doubles by someone who's over 40 years old. And that's just what I think of it. And Jordan, the fact that he had to retire. He retired, came back out of retirement, wasn't as good. You didn't see many 30-point seasons. But with LeBron, it's just flat line. And that really settles it because it's all about consistency and longevity.
Yeah, I mean, it's this thing, you don't see a drop-off in his production. It's just, you mentioned it, this steady flat line. And he just keeps producing. And mind you, this is against people half his age. 20-year-olds, and he's cooking them at 40. Twice their age. No one has ever even gotten close to that. You mentioned Dirk. I mean, you have Vince Carter, and you have other guys at that age, but they're putting up less than 10 points a game. He's combined more points than Vince Carter and Dirk at that age combined, them two, and he's still putting up more stats than they are. It's insane. And I think when it comes to the GOAT debate and longevity, in my opinion, you have to decide the term on what and how you define the GOAT. And to me, it's the best player in their career, including stats, over their entire career. And that only comes down to LeBron. Michael Jordan, at their peak, I believe, was the best player to ever play. And I think if you were to decide to go on just that category, it's Michael Jordan. But overall, you have to look at the bigger picture and what LeBron James has provided to the Cavs and the Lakers and, the Miami Heat. And his resume doesn't even come close to anyone else. And that's why I think LeBron is the GOAT.
So, real quick, have you ever heard of a heliocentric offense?
No, tell me.
So, the heliocentric offense was invented in 2017 when Kyrie got traded away to the Celtics. That one year that LeBron carried his team to the finals, carried them in Game 7 over the Celtics, got to the Warriors and put up 51 points and almost a triple-double against them. It was based off that offense where head coach Ty Lue, I think at the time, that's who it was. He wanted the ball in LeBron's hands on almost every play possible. And LeBron played at least 40 minutes a game. Heck, he played almost all games that season. Not something you see nowadays from a lot of players, which that's a whole different topic. We can get into that later. But the fact that LeBron was so good, he had his own offense built around him. That speaks volumes. Jordan had to use the triangle offense to get past Detroit because they always had the Jordan rules. LeBron's offense is designed for him. Every team knew to stop him. Paul George tried to stop him with that Pacers. Paul George, I don't know if he's had a Defensive Player of the Year, but he's led the league in steals a bunch of times. I can tell you that. So that's just my thought about it. Anyway, Charles, are you going to close us out?
I mean, yeah. I mean, LeBron, when it comes to longevity, there is no one that even comes near. In LeBron, in my opinion, when it comes to defining who the GOAT is, according to my terms, LeBron is the only one. And so yeah, that's the Charles crossover, and it was a good one today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our new segment, Retro Rewatch, where I have any of my guests or co-hosts pick a game for us to go back and watch, whether it be a game they like, a historically significant game. And today, Charles, with me, has chosen the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals, Miami versus Boston, Game 6. So that's what we're going to be watching today. And afterwards, we're going to rate it on rewatchability, star power, legacy, and what's at stake, and entertainment overall. So let's get to it. Share screen. Okay. So, 3, 2, 1.
Malcolm Brogdon is fighting through his elbow injury for 3 games. He's shooting 1 for 13, and today he just did not feel right.
2 possessions and 3 looks right at the rim. Brown takes it in. Jalen comes up with a quick 2 and coming off a 21-point game 5.
Jaylen Brown gets to his right hand. He's very, very good and an excellent finisher. You got to make him go left.
Great, but yes, Reese is Look at this, Derek White with the tip, and then he's going to go and get that pass right inside. That's what you want. I would take Derek White with the defense and the hustle that he brings over a person that's scoring 20 points any night.
I'm going to ignore the ad.
The hang time on that ball. You see that, Charlie?
Off the bench quickly and heard from, and Tatum the other way. Over Caleb Martin, long shot, good.
7 for 11 from 3 in the last 2 games. The last 3 halves.
Caleb Martin for 3. That's a 3. Outside from Martin. Look down and no one came out of it. So what I like here in this first quarter, he already has 5 free throw attempts. Caleb Martin with a 3. He's on a heater in this first quarter. Jimmy Butler is back in the game for the Heat.
They're climbing back into it, bro.
That's just better offense. That honestly was not bad defense by Gabe. That is solid.
Not used to Smart being an offense.
No. Good shot. Good shot. Way to respond after getting scored
Jimmy
on.
Butler from getting shots over the top.
White. And Tatum with a fadeaway. Everything.
That's so tough.
That's just Tatum for you, bro. That's the Kobe mid-ranger.
Bro, Tatum is... I think, according to scoring, that boy is so underrated. And the assist on that dime, he is a well.
Game 5 with those 12 first.
Do not ISO Tatum. One of the best ISO players in today's game.
I think the difference of how the Heat won this is the amount of role players they had on this team. And I mean solid role players. Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Matt Strus, Caleb Thompson, all huge different makers. Even Kyle Lowry at this point in his career is more like a role player.
Tatum at a 16-point second quarter is 25 leading all scores. Brown working on that baseline. They swing it around. Ends up to Horford. Back down to Brown. To Brown. Martin for 2. Count it with a foul.
That's just teamwork for you. Not bad for an old man, huh?
Is wrong right now. It is Smart. Positioning. Launches the 3.
I miss Marcus Smart on the Celtics.
It was 62-60. And Miami had the ball.
Oh, Drew Holiday? Are you on something?
Listen, Drew Holiday was solid before this, but Marcus Smart kind of fell off. I miss the old Marcus Smart.
That's a 2-point shot, which it aces. It makes it a 9-point game. Here comes Robinson back in the game, but for the first time in the second half, finds Adebayo over Smart. That's what they need. Points in the paint. Phenomenal game, double-double for him. Lowry sneaking on that baseline. Trying to slither, he does. Feed, Robinson got it! 8-0 Miami run. Lowry got it!
He doesn't have to worry about that the last 8:51.
Butler down the out of aisle screen on top. Robinson 3.
Boy can shoot. I tell you what, get fired up. Right away. Oh yeah.
Robinson for the lead.
Oh, good follow. That's what I love about Jimmy Butler. Knows his role. He's a superstar, but he ain't afraid to get the dirty work done. Ooh. Block transition O. Got the foul. Okay. Way to push the ball.
White guy shooters. Not uncommon after the other day, huh?
Well, they needed that.
Good feed.
Teamwork, boys. The beautiful game.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Duncan. This is probably one of Duncan's best games of his career, to be honest with you. Especially in a moment like this. Good pull, Derek. The way he squares up on that, goes right into his shot, no hesitation. Exactly what you want.
You don't want a 10-point lead. Well, 10-point deficit, at least, if you're going against the Celtics.
Knocked down. That's Jimmy Butler for you. Comes up clutch every time.
The defense is insane.
Defense wins championships. I've been preaching that forever, bro. I'm a huge believer.
And so does rebounding.
Good foul, Duncan. Good foul. Gotta make him.
Was that a flop?
No, that's a foul. He might have flopped to sell it, but that was 100% foul. Look at this. Comes up clutch every time. Gonna make them all.
Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Buckets.
Yeah, without Tyler here. No Tyler here.
What you talking about? Butler's always been the hero.
Hey, you're not wrong. He's cooking with the Warriors. Trust me. He's in. This is why I love Derek White. Derek White is a dog. He's going to do everything that nobody else wants to do, and he knows his role, and he's going to knock down shots and beat the heck up. Yeah, absolutely. This is why I picked this game, because of the clutch Game 6. They're going home if Derek White doesn't make this.
Box out, rebound, go after the fall.
They lost this series, but without Derek White, I mean, they ain't going to no Game 7. This is a 3-1 down deficit in this series. Celtics were down 3-1, came back to tie it for a Game 7. Almost pulled LeBron.
So now we're going to rate it. All right, so we've decided to name this game White Makes It Right, obviously because of the tip-in. It's kind of clean. And then, first up, we get star power. Charles, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think the star power was in this game overall?
Yeah, the amount of star power, I'm going at an 8.5. Tatum, Brown, got Derek White, Marcus Smart on the Celtics, and then you have Jimmy Butler, Bam, and then at that time, those role players were top-tier role players. Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson was going off. That's an 8.5 for me. I think, yeah, that's easily an 8.5 in my book.
Well, okay then. I'm going to put mine at, I'm going to give it a solid 8.1. Because at that point in time, we hadn't seen the full development of the Celtics, because they're still a young crew, and that's why I'm just going to put that. All right, next up, we got the stakes. What was at stake here? Well, I'll start off on this one because I got something. The Celtics were down 3-0 in this series. This game was the reason they were so close to becoming the first team ever to come back from down 3-0. And in the conference finals, too. I thought that was insane. So for stakes, I'm going to put this at a solid 9.2.
Yeah, I think you're definitely on the dot. I'm going to go with 9.5. Celtics, they don't win. They're going home. Like you said, down 3-0. First team to ever do that. History in the making. They don't get that tip. Derek White doesn't get that tip within 2 seconds later, and it's a Miami win. He doesn't get that. They're going home. They're going to Cancun. And yeah, I mean, easily high 9.5. You said 9.2. I 100% agree.
Okay, next up we got legacy. What was the legacy here? After this game, this is going to be a real killer for this one because not that many people will remember this. I know it was an incredible game, but when you look back at it, people remember the Ray Allen shot because it was Ray Allen, right? He was notorious for being a three-point shooter. White back in San Antonio was a role player who had just been there for 2 years, still a young guy. The only thing that people knew him for was his ridiculous hairline. That was about it. So I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with a 5 on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with the 6. The reason I'm a little bit higher than you is because Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, and Max Strus all from that series made a name for themselves, and they all went out, left the Miami Heat, and got some really good deals on other teams, and really brought the bank home, made a ton of money, and it's because of that series. High level of a game 6, and honestly throughout the whole series. So they went and made bank, and also Derek White made a name for himself. We all know who he is today. Dropped, I think it what 9 threes last game, 40 points, insane. So that's only just a confidence booster for him, and yeah, legacy was huge.
Rewatchability, dude, that drags it up so much. I'm gonna go rewatchability 9. I think for the most part, Boston was dominating, but then at the end they kind of slipped up because they did that the year before, and they made it a close game. And then the tip in that was boggled my mind. I'm still so confused on how they didn't win that series. But whatever. What do you think?
Yeah, I think watchability is a high one. I think it's a 8.5. The tip at the end is easily what makes the game known. It's a game 6, win or go home for the Celtics. The only reason I'm a little bit lower than you is because the Celtics really had the game for the most part throughout that game, and only at the end did they slowly give it up. If it had been neck and neck, one takes the lead, then the other team takes it, then I would probably be higher. But overall, it really was a fantastic game, no complaints, and my mind was blown when I was watching that in person.
Totally agreed. So the total score adds up to 7.9. So this is the first game on our list. So as of right now, it is ranked the number 1 overall game that we have watched. And so now we're going to move into our next segment, Overtime Trivia, Mavericks Superfan Edition. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into overtime. As such, we have some questions for the acclaimed Mavericks Superfan. All right, Charles, I'm going to start you off with this question. Before Mark Cuban bought the team in 2000, who was the primary owner of the Dallas Mavericks?
Ross Perot.
That is correct.
Fun fact, that's my dad's boss. Yeah.
I'm sorry, this isn't in the segment. Is that why you're a super fan?
No, I'm a fan because I love basketball and I'm from Dallas. Well, technically Fort Worth, but yeah, that's fun fact.
Okay, yeah, no, that's the first time I found that out. All right, question number 2. Which player holds the record for most three-pointers made in a single game for the Dallas Mavericks? How many did he make? That you won't get points for that, but just
Jason Terry. And I'm going to go 9.
incorrect. His name was George McLeod.
Interesting.
He made 12.
I did not know that. That's a fact of the day, I guess.
All right, next question. In the 2011 NBA Finals, what illness was Dirk Nowitzki battling through in Game 4 against Miami?
Flu.
Correct.
It's the Jordan flu game, you know? Had to go for it.
I'm totally laughing right now. All right, next one. What was the original color scheme for the Mavericks jerseys when they entered the NBA in 1980?
Ooh, I'm going to say blue and green.
So it's blue, green, and white.
I mean, that's close enough, right?
I'm not giving you that one.
Fair enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, this should serve as a reminder that super fans need to know their team inside and out. All right, so next question. Who was the first ever draft pick in Mavericks franchise history?
I have no idea. Like, genuinely couldn't even give you a name.
So his name was Kiki Van de Weghe in the 1980 NBA draft.
Yeah, I was not getting that one. Yeah, there's no way.
That just means you're not a super fan.
Maybe I am.
All right, next question. What was the Mavericks' regular season record in their championship winning season in 2010 to 2011?
They won 57 games.
Super fan it is. That is correct. All right, before becoming the American Airlines Center, what arena did the Mavericks call home?
Crap, I know this one. I'm blanking.
You grew up around this area.
Yes, I know. You're going to have to tell me because I'm not. It's going to take years.
It was formerly called Reunion Arena.
I knew that. I'm not a super fan, guys. I'm not.
Who was the head coach of the Mavericks before Rick Carlisle took over in 2008?
Oh my goodness. There's no way I'm going to not get this one. And it's Rick Carlisle, but tell me.
The head coach of the Dallas Mavericks in 2008, before then, was Avery Johnson.
Yeah, knew that one.
All right, next question. Which player hit the game-winning shot in Game 3 of the 2006 Western Conference semifinals against my San Antonio Spurs?
Dirk.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to remind the audience that Tim Duncan is a better power forward and always has been a better power forward than Dirk wishes he could be. All right.
You're not wrong, but the best shooting big man, Dirk, all day.
All right, next question and final question. In what year did the Mavericks first make the NBA playoffs, and who was their first-round opponent?
Oh, first playoff appearance. I'm going to get this wrong. It was like 93. That's a guess.
You underestimate your own franchise. It was 1984, and they played against none other than the Seattle Supersonics.
Go back.
All right, so to add it all up, you made 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 10 questions correct.
I think it's 5 out of 10. The blue and green and white, I think I should have gotten that one. Just saying.
Unfortunately, that's not what the rules tend to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this episode of From the Cheap Seats. I am Charlie Jimenez.
And I'm Charles Campbell.
Please join us next time